Now, what you think you know about football, or what you think scouts are looking for in these players might not be what they're looking for. You might see your kid and think, oh, he's strong, or he can run, or he's got good control of the ball. Those things help. But it depends on the age of the kid as well. There are a lot of things that they look for. I've got a couple of friends that are scouts as well. So I know one of them was saying to me the last time that one of the kids they scouted was, they saw him at the park, just running, right? There was a ball there. He was running, playing around with the ball. He did not do much on the ball, but he said he just liked his movement. And he called him in. And the boy is in the academy now. I'm always happy when my kids are frustrated after a game. To me, it shows you care. It shows you would want to do better. That means your next game you would try even harder. Now, when they come home frustrated, first of all, pick on the good things they did in their game. I have a friend that would not register their kids for a particular club because they didn't feel welcomed by the parents, not just the coaches, just because they said, I can't. I went to their trial session and didn't feel like, and I thought about it like,
it does matter.
It does matter a lot.
You're going to be spending time with most of those parents, you know.
A lot, and you want your kid to be comfortable. You want your kids to feel welcomed,
loved as well,
and loved.
So in terms of grassroots football, you know, sometimes, especially in this climate where the weather can be sometimes harsh, and you want to be sure your kids are in safe hands. How do you navigate that area of life for them?
The advice I'll give to parents would be.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to have you guys again on the BallBusiness podcast. Today is a very special one. Today is about parents. It's about fathers, mothers, uncles, guardians who have kids or young ones that are going through life as a developing footballer. And these are to parents, guardians who are raising their young ones to become professional players. And today's discussion is going to be very interesting because it stems out from discussions we have in our community, you know, the BallBusiness Community. So if you have not joined, reach out to us and try to join. And we have one of our community guests here who is also a parent and is raising children like myself who wants to become professional footballers in future. But today is not about them, kind of. It's more about we as a parent, our duty, and how we can support these children or our child to grow. Without further ado, I have my friend here. I will let him to introduce himself. Welcome, Nelson, and I'm happy to have you.
Thanks, Fumbi. Yeah, I'm Nelson, a parent of two young boys who play grassroots football at the minute. And like Fumbi said, I am part of the BallBusiness Community. And from conversations we've had, we just, I think he said we should do this podcast just to help parents. I've been supporting grassroots coaches in the various clubs that my kids play for, and I've seen a few things that I think I question a lot, how beneficial they are to kids. From research I've seen on the FA website and the whole silent support that the FA is introducing, which is to ask parents to keep quiet during the games and just let children play football. I'm just going to talk. Yeah.
Thank you, my brother. And the funny thing is, I have an under 18 game I'm going to after this this podcast, which I've just been invited to by a friend. You know, I'm a parent myself, a child very young, like every other person that I know that has a child, especially from Africa and in this country, England. They have awards wanting to play football. As a parent, what should that journey look like in terms of specific way to look out for? Do you say, oh, this young boy or this young girl can run, so he or she should play football? Or how do you identify, or how do you bring up that child to say, okay, you know what, go and play football? Or you as his dad will say, you know what, you must play football?
I think we can't really tell from when they're young. Some of them you can see them and just tell, okay, this guy looks like he's got something, or this little girl looks like they've got something. Maybe the way they run, the way they handle the ball when they have the ball at very young age, you can tell. For some, you can't tell. And I think most people like myself, I got my kids into football because I just wanted them to do curricular activities, and I like football. I watch football a lot, so and I enjoyed the process of taking them to training on Saturdays when they were very young, just to have fun, make friends, and it was just that for something for them to do. And as time progresses, I realized that they also really enjoy going, and they were always questioning, "Oh, when are we going to football next? Oh, Dad, can we go to the garden to play football?" Oh, and they're always kicking football in the house. So I thought, okay, let's take this a bit serious and actually looked for a local football academy and registered them with a grassroots football. And then from there, anything can happen. They can get scouted because you've got scouts that come into these games and they can get scouted from as little as 4, 5, So like I've said earlier, you don't know, but you just do it from a place of wanting them to go out and socialize and meet other kids and you see.
You did make mention of something about, you know, they wanting to show interest,
Mm-hmm.
and from there you encourage them, take
Yeah.
them out to games, and from their scouts, also see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that's environment has a lot to play in that area.
Yeah.
As parents, how do we prepare that or those sort of environments for our kids? We might be in a country where we are lucky that there are scouts, and what about where there are no scouts or that grassroots structure is not there? How do you set up that environment for them? Is it because I've seen some parents and very early in their life of the child, they just buy them ball, setting that pace for them. And you see someone just saying, you know what, this boy is barely 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you, giving him
Mm-hmm.
a career? And someone would say, I'm just preparing the environment for him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to what do you think about that?
And then, like I said, for me, my kids started playing football because one, I like football, and the idea was just to get them out, so they can meet other kids and also socialize. Some people might have the idea that I want my kids to play football, and they will start them young, each to their own. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Get them football. Some of them might be interested, some will not be interested. From speaking to parents in the grassroots club I volunteer at, some of them have said, "Oh, my kid was not interested in football initially when I started bringing them to training, but after a while, they picked interest." So, getting them football when they are 2 might be good. Sometimes it might not be good. I've got 2 boys, one 9, the other 5. Right. So the 5-year-old grew up with balls around. So he was kicking ball and playing football from as early as I can remember. So
Maybe from the womb. It's kicking.
exactly from the womb. So he so but yeah, so there was football around. So
Yeah.
he is different. So there's no this is the way to go about it. Some kids will have it naturally, some kids will practice and become really good at it. And you will see them develop as they grow and if you're consistent with it.
You were saying something about them enjoying it.
Mhm.
I took my son for practice,
Mhm.
very still young child, and I'm always holding his hand,
Mhm.
trying to make him do the drills.
Mhm.
And I remember after that conversation, I just got to call you. Oh, where are you? I said, oh, you are this social club for your child. I said, you know what? I'm also that's where I am now, but
Mm.
this is my experience. I said, you gave me that experience on the phone. I mean that advice on the phone. I said, you know what? You've been volunteering as a coach. You've been in this more way than any other person, probably 9 years now. I think we need to talk about this. Let's sensitize other parents, other
Mm.
dads out there,
Mm.
especially those of us in football.
Mm.
And that's why we are here. If you don't
True.
mind, in terms of a child at that stage,
Mhm.
what stage should they enjoy the game? What stage should parents start taking it serious? And what are those advice and principles to guide those kids?
Importantly, children should always enjoy football. Doesn't matter how old or how young they are, they should always enjoy football. Let's say your kid is what, 2, 3, and you're still holding his hands and expect him to do the drills. It's just like anything. When you start off, you will not know what you're doing. You'll be learning. And sometimes you find kids, so you find parents getting frustrated that a kid who is 4 or 5 is not doing it's not doing something that they see on TV that professionals do, and put pressure on the kids. That's not good for them, because then you're not letting them think, you're not letting them learn. They are there thinking, I have to play football, I have to please my parent. And most times, what we see in these games is that instead of them focusing on this football, they're looking outside to see, what do I do to get, instruction from their parents? What do I do when I get the ball? When they should be allowed to think and let them process the game the way they know how to process it as kids. So I think children should enjoy football, because if they don't enjoy it and you are forcing them, then it becomes you putting undue pressure on those kids, and it turns out that they wouldn't enjoy the sports like they should, and that would also haunt their progress or learning, and then they see it as work as opposed to something that they're going for fun. Just like adults, and even in schools and universities, there's this whole gamified learning
Yeah.
where you're making people learn through gaming, or they're in an environment that is playful, thinking they're not learning, but they are learning something. So let them enjoy the game. Let them play the way they know how to play. Yes, you are there to guide and give them advice, but do it in a way that it doesn't put pressure on them, that they are not scared when they are there, or they don't know what to do, or they have to look at daddy, look at mommy before they make decisions. Just let them. I've made that mistake. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm in the touchline screaming names like, do this,
You're
do that,
Guardiola on
do
the
this, do that. Do you understand that? Or on the fives games, and I'm screaming. But it's one of those things. Sometimes you have to call yourself back to say these are 5-year-olds, they're 6-year-olds, they're
Is that not
9-year-olds.
passion or?
Yes, there's room for that. There is passion. You can scream all you want, but don't pass that frustration on the children. You need to watch yourself and call yourself to order to say, okay, how is this helping this child? Is it putting more pressure on them, and is it making them lose concentration or even lose interest in the sport? So it's finding the balance. Try not to scream at them.
Especially a dad like me that can't do the dribbles, and I expect my son to.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't do anything, but you want your kid to. Same here. I didn't play football growing up like that.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
play much of it. I did in secondary school, and I was only a goalkeeper. I wasn't even good enough to be in the pitch. But anyways, I from what I've seen, coaching kids, being at their games, sometimes we are, should I say, we expect too much too soon from young kids that should be enjoying the football and just learning as they go. Obviously, there's place for um, you know, being stern and talking to them to know that they are actually there
At
to
what
learn
age
some.
should that be stern and being a little bit professional? Because you've also put in the work,
Mm,
and your words are in the more structured place. They're in the good
mm.
academy here in England. And at what stage do you start, being stern and say, you know what, this is no longer a joke, and of course, the structure now when you go
Mm.
into a proper academy,
Mm.
how do you manage that? This is two questions now.
Yeah. At what stage? This, I think, from speaking to parents and from my own learning, I don't know if there is a particular time when you say you have to be, it's okay for you to be stern, or at this age, it's okay for you to scream, or at that age, no. You need to find a way to pass your message across in a way that it's very constructive, and the kid know you are doing it lovingly and teaching them, because it's not just the game. It's not just playing football. It's not just what you, I mean, your dreams of them playing football and becoming professional one day. You should also see it as them learning discipline, learning how to be respectful, learning how to be friends and be in an environment with other people, teamwork and stuff like that. So it's to find a way to have that conversation of saying to them that this is beyond you playing in the back garden now. This is this needs to be taken seriously. If you are going to training, then you need to know that you are going there to learn something. You need to take it seriously. You need to listen to your coaches, and you need to do what you can do and do it, give it your best. So what I tried to do with my 5 year old, for instance, as an example, and even his big brother, what I tried to do is give them challenges. Today, I want you to take as much shots as you can. I want to see you try to dribble. Do the skills you do in the living room. Do the skills you do in the garden. Try it, and if you do it, you get this. If you do it, you get that. If you do this much, you get what do you want. So we do that. Or sometimes is you lose the ball, I want you to win it back straight away. I want you to run back. So when they see kids thrive in an environment where they are challenged, or they like challenging environment, I want to believe, and they if it's a game thing, you do this, I give you Haribo. You do this, I give you this. You take Lucozade to your next training. You do this, not just water. You're getting what you want. It becomes fun. It becomes
I
a
see.
game that it is, and it's then in that way you are also teaching them to be confident, to be brave, to try things. I always say to them, if you don't make mistakes, then to me you're not trying. Go there, make mistake. I won't be angry. I'll be happy you're making mistakes because I know you are actually trying something, and you will learn from it.
Now let's digress a bit from the kids.
Mm.
A lot of sacrifices that parents make are
Mm.
actually overlooked.
Mhm.
Traveling hours, games,
Mm.
you know, those sacrifices.
Mhm.
It's not been talked about as
Mm.
much as great awareness around it as it
Mhm.
is, and also that frustration. Some parents end up putting that frustration.
For me, I think first the fact that I enjoy football and I love football, it's 70% solved that problem for me because I sometimes I feel like I am more excited to go to these places than they are sometimes, because when I get to see other kids play, I get to see them play and try and challenging stuff. But like you said, it's a sacrifice, and it's a big one that we overlook because we drive hours every day to sometimes take them to their games, um, and training and things like that. So you get frustrated just like you would in life, and I would say you just don't pass your frustration on the kids. Learn to manage it the way that it doesn't affect your child, because you don't want them to feel like they are a disappointment. So, I mean, there's a place for you to tell them when they've done something wrong in the game or when you feel like they could have done better. But if you think you are not in a good place to speak to them and you will not come out too angry, then find a way to calm yourself down first before you call them to order. What I do sometimes when I'm really, really frustrated, I'm thinking, Jesus, you could have just done this, you could have just done that, right? I try to just, after the game, it's just well done. You've done well. And that's it. We don't talk about the game again. We just drive, right? Until I get home and we are settled. And then sometimes I would then call my boys aside. We sit down and we say, okay, tell me about your game. What did you do well? What did you think you didn't do well? To get them to analyze the game and tell me what they think. And then from there, we talk about it. So in by so doing, it's getting them to identify where they think they've gone wrong and using that as a means to teach how to manage your frustration. And frustration, we all have coping mechanism for things that we do in life. And I would say that should apply in this scenario as well. Football is it's a lifelong thing. It's not something that you do today and then you see result tomorrow. For those that want their kids to play professionally, for a 5 year old or a 4 year old, for instance, now that's been scouted, you don't know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years away holds for you. You just need to let them enjoy the game and teach them that football is not the beat all. And if you make it in football, good. If you don't, there are other things in life. So that pressure is also reduced. You just need to, and even for you, that helps you with the whole frustration. At least you'll not be that disappointed. You need to let yourself know that this is just one way we're trying to make it in life, but there are other avenues. This your education and all that things that you pick up as you go.
Yeah, and I was going to touch point on that, but some parents don't have it that way, and we see it all around.
Mhm,
Some are also trying to get their kids into brilliant academies,
mhm,
but now the parents' frustration is gone. Now we're talking about the child. Sometimes in this structured academy,
mhm,
they have trainings that they can come back home sore,
mhm,
little bit of setback.
mhm,
Maybe the child has lost a penalty or is a
mhm.
goalkeeper. How should parent navigate for the kid?
I'm always happy when my kids are frustrated after a game, or when when I particularly when I've looked at the game, or when I've watched the game from the sideline and I thought, okay, you've done considerably okay,
Yeah.
but they've come out to say to me, nah, I should be doing better, right? I'm happy about that. So I like that, because to me it shows you care, and it shows you would want to do better. That means your next game you would try even harder. Now, when they come home frustrated, first things first is, like they say, you don't hit a man when he's down, right? So I try to first of all pick on the good things they did in their game. I'm not going to dismiss the fact that they've done some things wrong. I'll say yes, we acknowledge that bit, but let's focus on these bits that you've done very well. These are the bits that you've done wrong. We'll work on them. Those are mistakes that everybody makes, even professional. Then I start identifying professionals that make similar mistakes, or make mistakes, or Messi misses penalties. Ronaldo misses penalties. So you are just learning.
Yeah.
So it's just to let them know that mistakes are part of the game, and whatever you think you've done wrong is a part of the game. Is how you pick yourself up and fix what you think you've done wrong that really matters. So it's keeping your head in the game and keep working.
Yeah, this has been a very wonderful conversation. Thank you for that beautiful insight. So, in terms of
You're welcome.
grassroots football,
Mhm,
sometimes, especially in this uh, climate
mhm,
where the weather can be sometimes harsh, and
mhm,
you want to be sure your kids are in safe hands,
mhm.
how do you navigate that area of life for them?
I think the advice I'll give to parents would be, just make sure that your kids are registered with a grassroots club that is registered with the FA. For every club that's registered with the FA, they must have a safeguarding officer, or coaches must be DBS checked, and must have done a safeguarding training for kids. Because if you are coaching kids between the ages of, let's say, 1 to 18 or so, or 16, 18, I think, you must be DBS cleared, and you must have done your safeguarding training. So that way you are at peace with who you're leaving your kids with. I mean, anything can happen, and it's always advised that you be in the vicinity of where your kids are training. We understand the weather can be horrible sometimes, and some kids might want, some parents might want to go sit in their cars
Yeah.
when the trainings are going on, training is going on. So just make sure it's your right as a parent to ask those questions. Are the coaches DBS cleared? Have they done the FA safeguarding training? Just ask those questions, and they should produce it. Just make sure the club is
Yeah.
registered with the FA.
And these coaches, to be fair, they are mentors,
Yeah,
because there are times that
exactly.
they decide and shape the way your child behaves,
Mm-hmm,
the way he
mm-hmm.
talks,
Yeah,
and you need to actually look into that. How
yeah.
how how crucial is that in a young child's life? In terms of the mi- mindset of the coach, the way he approach the game. That can determine a lot. And we see it even in adult football. They
Mm-hmm,
say, "Oh, this is my favorite coach.
mm-hmm,
I like the way Ancelotti carries himself."
mm-hmm,
Some people say, "Oh, Mourinho is a winner,
mm-hmm,
but his man management is what they have a
mm-hmm,
problem with."
mm-hmm.
You know, how does that also affect or play a very important role in the life of a child for him to become a
Mm.
professional?
Yeah, it's very, very, very important. So you're taught as a coach with kids to be positive around those kids, and you have situations where sometimes coaches say negative things or might even have favorite players within teams. But in an environment where you are registered with the FA and you are trained, you will know the kind of words to say to these children because, like you said, the kids look up to these coaches
Yeah.
and listen to them a lot. Sometimes more than you, the parent, because they feel like you don't know what you're saying. Uh, yeah. So they listen to their coaches. So it's very, very important you look for a club that is registered and the coaches are DBS cleared and they've done their safeguarding training because that way they would handle your kids well and just look for. I have a friend that would not register their kids for a particular club because they didn't feel welcomed by the parents, not just the coaches,
Wow.
just because they said I can't. I went to their trial session and didn't feel like this feels like a family environment. And I thought about it like
It does matter,
it
to be
does
fair,
a
because
lot,
you're going to be spending time with most of those parents, you know.
a lot, and you want your kid to be comfortable. You want to kill your kids to feel
Loved
welcomed
as well.
and loved because then they will be able to thrive and do very well where they are. Because if they're in a place where they feel like I don't belong, then
It's not good for
it's
them.
not good for them. It's not good for their development. So just make sure you yourself as a parent, you observe the environment and you're comfortable with it as much as the kid is, and look for the coaches that will be coaching your children and ask questions. You can go to them and speak to them. They are coaches, not gods. So go speak to them, ask questions if you need to clear things up.
There's this question even from the community. You see people ask, what advice would you give to parents? Because a lot of parents don't know what the scouts are looking for is different
Mhm,
from what
mhm,
you're seeing. And there's this popular story about Ronaldo
mhm,
scoring goals
mhm.
before he became scouted and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. But as someone who has been around that sphere,
Mhm.
what's the best approach?
Just let your kids enjoy football. That's what I'm going to say. Let them take them to their trainings, take them to their games, and let them keep playing football. Now, what you think you know about football, or what you think scouts are looking for in these players, might not be what they're looking for. You might see your kid and think, oh, he is strong, or he can run, or he's got good control of the ball. Those things help. But it depends on the age of the kid as well. So early on, when I think 4, 5, those ones if you're in the system, then you're in the system, right? And if they see something that they like, it could be because of your height, it could be because you look strong, it could be because you're fast, it could be because you've got good control of the ball, you can manipulate the ball very well at that young age. So there are a lot of things that they look for. Like you said, sometimes it could be in a game where you think your child have done absolutely nothing, and someone will come to you to say, I really like this boy. Can I get your details and things like that, whatever they do, right? So it's don't make it all about, oh, you need to get scouted, oh, you need to get scouted. No, let it be about go enjoy your football. Just play. And if it happens, it happens. Right? I know of kids that I've got a couple of friends that are scouts as well. So I know one of them was saying to me the last time that one of the kids they scouted was they saw him at the park just running. Right? There was a ball there. He was running, playing around with the ball. He did not do much on the ball, but he said he just liked his movement. And he called him in. And the boy is in the academy now. Some, it could be in your game, scouts are there watching. There is no, what's it called?
One way fits
There's
all kind
no,
of thing.
yeah, there's no one way or this is how you need to do it. This is one thing I like to say is that your kids should go. If you're going to the farm, you will go to the farm with your cutlass and everything and all your equipment you need to do. If you're going to the office, you will go with your laptops and everything that you need to
Yeah.
do. So if your kid is going to football, dress them well. Put them in their football kits. Everything that they need to do well. Correct football boots. If they're playing on grass, correct football boots. If they're playing on and let them be presentable. And let them play football. Don't send a kid to football in his school shoes that you're not serious. Because nobody's going to take you serious. No.
Kasongo.
So, exactly. So just let them dress them properly with their football gears and let them go enjoy the game. You don't know when and if there is a scout around because you can hardly tell, right?
Yeah.
You can hardly tell. They might just be there like every other parent and watching the game. And at the end of the game, they'll speak to a coach about your child and just take them to their games.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Special shout out to you. Giving you this thank you
Mm.
from all of us at the Ball Business community.
Mm.
And please, guys, if you're watching, join our membership. You get a free ball credit. Also, come here as well if you can to give us your journey about your football starting your. Yeah.
So like we said earlier, there should be a follow up to this maybe as we progress, and maybe then I can get a few more parents involved, and you cannot speak. Just have everybody talk about their experience, and that would be good. To have other parents that I know or some of the kids I coach get their parents to come around, and then we have a good session. That would be nice.
So we'll look into that rope as well. Final words, final advice for the parents.
Enjoy your children's journey. Don't put unnecessary pressure on them. Who will make it in football will make it. Just do your job as a parent by helping them, taking them to training, let them enjoy the sport. And I was always ask this question to my kids: do you want to do this? If you don't want to do it, I will support you with whatever activity you want to take. So it's so that it's not just you pushing
Your dreams
your
on
own dream
your
on the
dreams on
kids,
them,
on the kids. So let them, from time to time, I ask the question, do you want to go to training? And sometimes I've missed training because he said, today, Daddy, I'm tired, right? Sometimes I don't always allow it. I don't always allow it. I say sometimes because if they've had a full week of training and training and training, because sometimes I do extra training myself. I take them to the garden and then take them to park, do my training myself. If I think they've had a full week and I'm just like, okay, they've been in school as well, they've had lots of activities. I'm always like, okay, do you want to? Most times it's yes, without questions asked. But the day they say no, sometimes I ask because I'm tired. So, but we should just again enjoy it. Encourage them to train. Make sure it's something that they love as well, and it's not you just putting what you want on your kids. No, we joke about this thing in with some parents. They say my kids have a lot of options. They can play football for Manchester, for Madrid,
Liverpool,
no,
Madrid.
leave Liverpool, leave Arsenal, leave the rest. They can play for United, play for Barcelona, play for Madrid, and any other club, right? So, but really, it should not be a thing of you must play football. Give them that option to explore their sports, swimming, running, whatever it is that they enjoy, and just create time. And what will happen will happen. I always believe if God says it will be, it will never pass you.
Yeah,
really.
Because it's destiny, sometimes
Yeah.
some of these things that we push.
Mhm.
Bro, thank you so much.
Thank you so
I
much,
really
Femi.
appreciate this. And on behalf of everyone at the Ball Business, say a big thank you to you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you again.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thanks
brother.
for having me.
Bless you. Guys, thank you for staying through to the end. Like I said, please subscribe, like, reshare. And for you to support us, you can join our Premier members. You get your free ball credit. Nice to talk to you guys again. Thanks, and see you guys later. Bye.